with Shirk. His name's not really Shirk. It's DIY with Shirk, and he does stuff with some bug. He does things in the dark, and he usually misses a smack. But it's DIY with Shirk. His name's not really Shirk. He doesn't work with Shirk, but it's DIY with Shirk. Shirk, Shirk, Shirk. Shirk, Shirk. Shirk, 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 Shirk.
Hello. So, I'm not doing DIY today. I'm going to do some baking. I'm going to bake some bread. So you've panic bought all of the flour, all of the fucking yeast, and you don't know what to do with it. So rather than throw it away, why don't you make some bread with it? I'm going to show you how to do it. And it's very easy. Even I can do it. First, what you need is these ingredients. Flour, which you've got 74 bags of, some sugar, some salt, some yeast, which you bought all of because I couldn't fucking find any of it anywhere, you bastards, and some olive oil, some scales, and some other bowls and shit like that. That's what you need to bake some delicious bread. So, let's go. So, first, 500 grams of white bread flour. Remember, 74 bags of it. It's a third of a bag. I'll try to be exact with this. It's not really very sharp. I'm going to try and be as exact as I can with the measurements of this, because it's very easy to get it slightly wrong and it makes bread and shit. So, 500 grams of flour. Now, I'm going to sift this into a bowl. I don't think you have to sift it, but I've found recently that I get better results when I do sift it into the bowl instead of just pouring it in. So, here we go. So my exact measurements have gone into cock when I've spilt it all over the side of the kitchen. 10 grams of salt. 7 grams of yeast. Now this yeast, easy bake. You can just put it in with your dry ingredients. Some yeasts you have to activate in some warm water and sugar and shit, but this one's fun. Right, 1 teaspoon of sugar. Hello. Alright, go and get some chocolate egg then. Go and ask your mother. Right, now, I weigh my water because my measuring jug isn't very accurate, so I'm going to measure 325 mils.
What did you shoot in the video? Oh, sorry, it's not just DIY then.
No. Fine, that'll do. 3 mils over. Might be a little bit of a sloppy dough, but we'll see. Splash of olive oil. I've no idea how much you're supposed to put in, but just some. Some will do. Right, now, mix in the water. So when you've mixed it enough, you should start to see that it's cleaning the bowl. So it's starting to just clean the edges of the bowl up. So that's kind of optimal level with stickiness. Yeah. Yeah. Now I need to knead the dough. Now I don't know if I do this bit right, but it generally turns out okay. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Maybe that's right, maybe it's not. Who knows? Olive oil on the table. Right, there's my dough. Just going to oil that up a bit. Make it into some kind of ball. Right, so sort of hold it with your fingers, use the palm of your hand there, just stretch it gently, fold it over, and then turn it 90 degrees so you have a slit pointing away from you. Do the same again. Stretch, fold, turn, stretch, fold, turn, stretch, fold, stretch, fold. I get a bit of rolling action in there sometimes as well, you know. It's a bit sticky, just roll it around in that flour a little bit. So my dough's a little bit wetter than usual today, it's an extra 3 millilitres. Okay, so you need to do this for, I reckon, at least 7 minutes. And you'll notice as you're doing it that the structure of the dough is changing. So it's becoming more elastic, less kind of blobby, and after 7 minutes or so you'll notice that it's got a nice smooth silky texture. So, nice, smooth dough, stuck to my hand a little bit, but I'd say it's probably kneaded enough. You can knead it for as long as you like really, unless you're Superman you're not going to be able to over knead it, but you need to make sure that its structure's changed so you can feel the difference while you're kind of stretching it. You can feel that it's more elasticy, and a bit more pliable, and when it gets to that stage, give it another minute, and then you're done. It's fine. So chuck it back in your bowl, a bit of oil to stop it sticking, bosh, sounded like Jonah, that's whatever his name is. There you go, in the bowl. Cover it up with some cling film. Now you'll leave this somewhere until that dough has doubled in volume, which will take about an hour-ish. But go less on the time and more on the size of the dough, because different environments and different temperatures will work at different rates. But don't leave it in too warm a place. I made that mistake recently. I ended up with a loaf of bread with a massive hole in it. So yeah, leave that until it's double the size, and yeah, I'll come back to that in about an hour. So, about halfway through the fermentation stage of stuff and things. Fermentation is the bit where it rises first before we've shaped it, and kind of the yeast is shitting out bubbles of stuff into our dough. It's been going about an hour. It's probably not quite doubled yet, but what I'm going to do is lay it out on the surface, fold it up, which kind of redistributes the yeast, makes sure yeast has enough food to do its shitting and whatnot. And then we'll leave it for another hour or so, and you'll notice after the second one that it's much bigger this time. So, tip the dough out onto there. There we go. So I'm going to fold it up, so a little bit of flour on the top. Move the shit out of the way. So I'm just going to knock it back, which is getting rid of all of the air bubbles in there. So just sort of stretch, fold, stretch it a bit, fold, stretch, fold, and then wrap it up in a nice little package, like so. I'll do it again, it should be a bit tighter the second time. It won't stretch as much. Just trying to give it a bit of a solid structure so it doesn't spread out and turn into a pancake when we come to shaping it, which is going to happen after the next stage. And back in the bowl. Cover it up again. Give it another hour or so, and that should hopefully be massive. So, it's been another hour. The dough is now massive. So now what I'm going to do is shape the dough into its final shape. I'm going to make it into a single loaf in a loaf pan, but there are other ways to do it. If you don't have a loaf pan like this, you can just make it into one big loaf and just like a bloomer, or two little loaves, either one. But yeah, this is it going into the loaf pan. So I'm just going to knock it back one final time. So I gather if you don't do this, then it tastes very yeasty at the end, which is why I'm getting rid of all the air bubbles. So I'm going to give it one last fold. What we want to achieve is some tension in the top. What a colour. Okay, a nice shaped loaf, bit of tension in the top, it's going in the pan. Well, flatten it down just a little bit. So that's going to now sit there for 45 to an hour, where it's going to rise and fill the loaf tin, and then it's going in the oven. So while this is rising for the last time, you want to put your oven on to like as high as it will go, 240 or something.
Am I on it?
No, you're not on it. And yeah, it needs to be really well preheated before you put your dough into the oven. Right, so I've not left it as long as I think I need to, but I think it's proofed enough, because when you push it in, it doesn't come back out, which is a sign that it might be overproofed, so it might well collapse in the oven. But we'll see. The oven is not yet hot enough. I need to leave it a little bit longer. This is Toby. Hey Toby. Right, I'll give it another 5 minutes. Right, one last thing. Before it goes in the oven, you need to score it with a very sharp knife. Which I can't find. Right. Just straight down the middle.
Nobody cares.
That will give it some room to expand into when it's in the oven, and hopefully will stop it having an enormous cavernous gap in it. And
and hopefully it'll turn out lovely. Right, in the oven it goes. Boom.
Brilliant.
Smash. So we're going to give it 40 minutes, I reckon. Come on. 40 minutes, done. Some beautiful bread at the end of it. So, taking my bread out of the oven. The scoring didn't quite work as I'd hoped. It's slightly to one side, but never mind, never mind. You can tell if the loaf is cooked. It taps underneath, and it sounds hollow and not muffled. One loaf of bread.